What would happen if a modern human traveled back to the Stone Age? David tried to time travel to the year 1900, just 120 years ago, but he miscalculated the settings and crash-landed in 12,000 BC. He opened his eyes to freezing wind and an endless, snowy plain. On a frozen river nearby, a herd of mammoths roamed, and a massive eagle circled above. Back then, during the final ice age, global temperatures were over 10 degrees Celsius lower than today. Mammoths lived in tight herds to survive the brutal cold, and they weren't small. Each weighed between 5 and 8 tons. One wrong step, and you'd be flattened. David quickly ran into a nearby cave to hide. He was freezing. He found some fallen branches, rubbed them together with his numb hands, but unlike the movies, all he got were painful blisters. Suddenly, footsteps echoed outside the cave. People. David was so relieved that he rushed out, only to face a group of strangers with bones on their heads and stone spears in their hands. Turns out, the cave David had found was already home to a tribe. Back then, Cro-Magnon humans lived in groups, usually in large caves or beneath rock shelters. They were extremely cautious of anything unfamiliar, and David, dressed in his neon hiking gear, must have looked like some kind of demon. The tribe raised their spears, ready to kill him. Terrified, David pulled out his smartphone. He showed them a video of his family, hoping they'd understand he wasn't a threat. The tribe was stunned. Moving people? Inside a glowing stone? They couldn't believe their eyes. To them, images were meant to stay still. Cave paintings were sacred, used for rituals or to pass down stories. But these pictures moved. They thought this must be a stone that traps souls. And just like that, David was mistaken for a god. The tribe invited him to a sacred feast, honoring him as a god. David had no idea what was going on, but he was just glad he wouldn't go hungry. Then he saw the food. Raw meat, insects, weird berries, and nearby, bones shaped like human skulls. This meat, it's from an animal, right? David was seriously concerned. See, modern humans aren't built for raw prehistoric diets. Those foods were teeming with bacteria and parasites. And without resistance, one bad bite could be fatal. Worse still, evidence from ancient sites shows cannibalism wasn't unheard of. So David played it safe and just nibbled on some unknown berries. Night fell. He lay down to sleep. But suddenly, a deep, earth-shaking roar echoed through the woods. A cave lion. The tribe jumped up, grabbed their spears and torches, and prepared for battle. David froze, then remembered. He had downloaded a predator-repelling app to scare away bears while hiking. Maybe it would work? He played the app. A high-pitched sound blasted through the air. And somehow, the lion turned and ran. The tribe couldn't believe it, and they cheered. And just like that, David became their god. But the time machine's 12-hour limit was almost up. As the countdown hit 0, David vanished, disappearing into the sky. The tribe stood in awe. He really was a god. They carved his image into the cave wall, so that no one would forget. And that cave painting? It may still be out there, hidden, just waiting to be discovered.